Who's the top guy in the club for fishing every day? Fishinfrank. You say you want to catch some fish? Hey, welcome to the club. We're gonna help you.
Hey, boys and girls. Oh, in the land of Utubia. Yes, we are going to do the fishing report where we go from Tampa down to Naples or maybe further, and inland and outland and freshwater, saltwater, and all that. Find out what's going on south of I-4. I guess basically is what it is. West of Okeechobee and south of I-4?
Well, north of Okeechobee. North and west.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm thinking of the freshwater reports.
Yeah, but
north
that's
of
what
Okeechobee
I'm
and west.
just, but basically west of Okeechobee and south of I-4. Yeah. Or do you do somebody north of I-4?
No.
No, I don't think he's got anybody on that list.
No.
Because that's part of the south. We're too far south to be part of that.
Yeah.
We're so far south, we're in the north. Actually, if you go back Confederate days, the Civil War, Jobean was a contested area. The Port Charlotte, Fort Myers, Charlotte Harbor was all Union held, so we were actually part of the North. I don't know about Arcadia. I've always got to look that up. Are you going to use that shot?
Why would I use that shot?
Okay.
No. Absolutely not.
You're
I
vicious.
would never do that. Why
You
would I
never do that?
No, I wouldn't
No.
do that. It was just for testing purposes.
Okay. Anyway, the only Civil War battle fought down here was in Jobean on the Myakka River there. And the Union forces were coming down. They wanted to take, Port Charlotte and everything away from the Union. So the Confederate forces were coming in. Union forces went up to stop them. They had a battle there at Jobean. And it's barely a footnote in history, but I'm pretty sure if you were there, it was pretty important. Pretty intense,
I would think any of those battles were probably pretty intense if you were personally there.
Yeah, if you were there, it was probably a badass fight. But the Confederacy never got further south than Jobean. And I don't know, that's just kind of the way it stood for the war. Wow. I got to look up and find out what happened with Arcadia. I don't know the status of that during the Civil War.
I'm not sure.
No, not either. I would think you would be the one for that, Josh.
Yeah, I should
Born and
know,
raised
but,
here,
I don't.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I probably did at one point know, but then I've learned other things, and so that got pushed out.
Right.
I was reading old diaries from settlers and farmers, ranchers, and stuff like that for a couple of years. And so I found out about the battle in Jobean. But anyway, on a non-militaristic format, I guess we start this one up by St. Pete.
What do you mean non-militaristic? This is battle. We
Well,
are out fighting those fish. It's nothing is non-militaristic when you really get right down to it. This is war.
this is
This is war.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And we're going to frame it right outside of the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, well, I would do that, but I don't want to do that. What I want
Now
here's
we've
what
got to do it in the Gulf of America.
But here's what I want to do. I don't want to do that at all. What I want to do is I want to talk about the places.
You didn't want to have a battle over the Gulf?
No, I want to battle you about where to start.
Okay,
I want to start with Jeff's reports because otherwise what happens is we'll have the good reports and then we'll have Jeff's reports and then we'll have more good reports. I figured we'll just start with Jeff's reports and get that out.
It could always go better, right?
Are you going to beam him over, or are you going to?
Well, I could, but he has to look at his phone anyway.
Yeah.
So if I beam him over, he's just going to be extra, double, triple confused.
I'll be looking down. I just had to get a reference, is all. But
Okay. Love the glasses, by the way.
All right.
Yeah, they give you that genuine pirate look.
All I need is a nice pirate bandana to go with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think if you really want to look like a pirate, you should wear 2 eye patches.
2.
Yeah. Well, then you don't have to worry about looking the wrong way on the green screen. So
You're right.
Yeah, I had a customer in here, and he was like,
Could have
"How
just
do you do this?"
The one squirrel eye.
I said, well, you didn't watch the very first episode, or no, I couldn't do this. It took a...
Yeah.
Well, look today because it'll be my first time. So
Yeah, but anyway, so Jeff, where are we starting?
we'll start at Lakeland Fishing Marine.
Lakeland Fishing Marine. I'm assuming
I
that's
talked-
in Lakeland.
Yes, I talked to a man named Mike. Mike had said that everything was slow. It's been real hot. The only people that have been having really good success have been going out at nighttime. And he only had like one report of somebody who went out at night and got their limit of crappie. Bluegill had been fighting pretty good up until 3 or 4 days ago. And then he said that bottom dropped out of that.
Well,
Hasn't heard anything about bass.
Clouds went away and it got hot again.
Apparently,
So-
yes. Yeah.
Well-
We had that one day we had no clouds in the sky at all. And for August, that's kind of strange.
Well, the significant part of that was he went out overnight, got a limit of crappie. It's not crappie season. They're not spawned up. They're not bunched up.
Right.
But you can catch crappie all year long, just like with sheephead. You can catch them all year long.
They've got to eat.
But they're just so much easier to catch once they start spawning and all get bunched up. But now that was in Lakeland?
Lakeland, yeah.
Okay, so up in Lakeland, you do have somewhat of a crappie bite, but it's in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be fighting the crowds.
No, you won't. No, you'll probably be out there by yourself.
Pretty much going to have it to yourself.
I would think so.
There's a
And
bonus there.
I called all my other
Keep an
bait
eye
stores
for the
out that
alligators,
way.
But
What?
Yeah.
keep an eye out for the alligators.
Look for the eyes.
They
yeah.
do get a little bit bolder at night sometimes. So
And everybody else I called up there in the inland bait stores, everything is slow. No real reports of any fish being caught. They're hoping. Everybody I talked to seemed to be.
Do you have who did you talk to?
I talked to Lakeland Fish. That was Mike. I talked to Fish Candy. That was Jesse.
Where's Fish Candy?
Fish Candy.
I still like to talk about the people. They were nice enough to answer the phone and do all that. So, give us reports.
Fish Candy Bait is in Sebring, and they are on North Ridgewood Drive.
Okay. And they said it's just
Everything is
nothing
really
going on.
slow.
Really
Nothing.
slow.
Yeah. And in the afternoons, they're dying. Nobody's coming in to get any bait in the afternoon. So it's just real hot. It's terrible.
Very glad I'm not in that position right now.
Yeah.
We had, I don't know about this week, but the week before we had over 1,000 people come through the store.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
very glad I'm not in that position. But Fish Candy,
and I can't be
hopefully the
super
fishermen
surprised
pick up.
by it because we use the Peace River flow as kind of a proxy for how does our rain look in Central Florida because Peace River drains a lot of that. And Peace River, as of 1:30 this afternoon, August 22nd, flowing at 183 cubic feet per second.
which is
So it's gone down. And
The record low is 134 cubic feet per second for this date. So
and the
we're
record
getting
high
close.
would be 8,000.
8,800 cubic feet per second.
right.
Yeah. And what you want to see out of the Peace River is about 500 cubic feet per second.
The average for right now is about 1,800 cubic
Yeah.
feet per second.
Wow.
So this is way low.
Yeah.
So minimal flow, the change the harbor at all is 500 cubic feet per second. But
Yeah, and we were there
And-
briefly for maybe a week,
yeah,
and now
that's
we're
why
not.
we got brown spots in the harbor.
Yeah.
And now it's going to clear up again. So anyway, theoretically, I think tomorrow is supposed to be a real high percentage rain day.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a little bit more cloud cover, even starting into the morning, and then supposed to be a 90% chance for rain on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know what the
We'll see.
cloud cover most of the area is, but out in Harbor Heights, there was a lot of clouds out there today.
That's good.
So-
Because there were none out there the other day, and it was blistering out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, if you're doing your lawn, have your raise your mower way up when it's not raining a lot. Let your grass get at least 4 inches tall. Cut it at that height. And then if you're going to have a week or so with a lot of rain, then drop it back down and cut it real short. But Bahia, which most of us have, and if you got St. Augustine and everything, you have lawn care. But if you got bahia, when it's not raining a lot, raise your mower up as high as it'll go and cut it that high to make sure your blades are sharp. And it survives the lack of rain much better, shades the roots, and the moisture can hang out by the roots instead of just getting burned off in the first hour of sunlight. So pull up more, raise it all the way up, and your grass will live a lot better. Anyway, then I go down real low when it's going to rain for a few days and get it to spread more. When you raise it up, the roots get deeper, it gets all healthier, but it doesn't like to spread as much. So whenever we got rain coming, I'll drop my blade down and cut it like normal people, and helps it spread.
Like normal people.
Normal people. I'm the only one I know.
Finally found one thing to do like normal people.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Frank.
I'm the only one I know that keeps it up, to the maximum height of the mower, and the grass lives weeks longer.
Well, everybody wants to cut it short with the idea that it's going to grow, and then I'll have to cut it again. So
you cut the same amount of times whether you've got it tall or short.
Well, if you do the math, yes.
Yeah. But for some reason, people think if they cut it real short, it's not going to grow as much, which is true because it dies off quicker. Yeah. So anyway,
always scalping it off.
Let's go to the saltwater side and get hopefully some good fishing information.
Yeah, hopefully the reports will get better for
inland.
inland.
If we have anything better. I can't see this screen with polarized lenses. That's not going to work.
Yeah, polarized lenses and that old-fashioned equipment.
Yeah.
Even though this piece of equipment is less than a year old, it's got the liquid crystal display.
Okay, so
let's
get to
look at that. Yeah. It's something about that chair that gets...
I know, right? That's a thing.
The cameras keep zooming to it.
That's okay.
All right.
Let's see if we can beam little Jeffy up there onto the stage there.
Maybe he'll be taller when he gets there.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
Yeah, he doesn't look any taller to me. Okay, so we're going to, this is our Southwest Florida region.
Let me get over here where I can reach it.
There.
Okay, there we go.
Bay
right
there.
Okay.
Can you point to Charlotte Harbor, Jeff?
I can point to Charlotte Harbor.
There it is right there. Can you point to Marco Island?
Marco, further down.
There we go.
Oh, my God. There we go.
So that's
way down at Marco.
Our report area from Tampa Bay down to Marco. And
cool.
Can you point at each of the individual bait shops that you talked to in Central Florida?
Ooh,
there's one right there. Yep. There's
Sebring.
One right.
Right here. Hey, I'm glad I got the glasses on.
Exactly.
And Connorsville, I think, is up here by 60. That's about the last one up that I do.
Right. Way on up there. Okay.
Dealing with these ones on the spine. Whoop, back here. There we go. Left, right is left.
And we don't really need to point to those things, but I know you're new at this.
So so I'm just trying to get a feel of the...
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's zoom it in on the Tampa Bay area, and we'll start out here. So our report from John at Discount Tackle Outlet. And
where is Discount Tackle Outlet?
Discount Tackle Outlet is down here in
cool.
Bradenton.
Bradenton?
Not Brading.
Manatee River?
Bradenton. Not Bradington.
Bradenton.
Bradenton, yes.
Bradenton.
There you go. Yep. It's down around over here somewhere. You can find it if you try. If you want their phone number, I'll give it to you because why not? It's 941-746-6020. And John said that it is going to be a great weekend for fishing out here in the Tampa Bay area. Cool. Got to get out there early to get on the bait and have the best opportunity to see that action. And what he liked was this week the tides will be up and then falling all day long.
Oh, yeah.
So
nice.
Outgoing tides all day makes for a great bite. So inshore bite, he said we still look good. The any flats and structure areas inside are doing very well. They are getting into some snook. They are getting into some redfish. The redfish have been looking for a little bit deeper shade. So you want to look for the shadow lines, any place that you're fishing, trees, pilings, bridges, those kinds of places. That's where those fish want to be. But there have been some snook holding in the deeper holes on the flats. So if you're out there in open water and you still have some pockets of deeper water, that's where you're going to be looking for those snook.
Probably up by
they got what, a 4-foot tide up there?
I'm not sure what their tide range is.
I'd
have to take a look at a chart.
But which makes fishing the flats more interesting because you go out there and the water's up and you look and it's a higher tide. And then you're sitting there in 3 feet of water looking for the potholes where the snook are and not paying attention. All of a sudden you're in less than a foot of water trying desperately to get the heck out of there.
There we go. Yeah, back behind here.
We're just not used to that here. We're used to the tide going up and down a little bit.
A little bit. We don't have that big swing.
2-3 feet at a time.
Yeah.
We have very gentle tides, averages total of 2 feet a day.
Yeah. And there's some beautiful areas down here around Terracea especially.
Yeah,
I haven't
beautiful area.
fished much of the north of Tampa Bay, but we've been into Terracea a few times. And there's some absolutely gorgeous areas back there where you can forget that you're on such a populated body of water.
Yeah, all this area back up in here looks real nice behind that bar.
Yep.
Back up into here.
That has been a nice thing for it. And he said when you're actually fishing in those areas, the frozen bait has been working really well. You know, a lot of people have been focused on getting that live bait, but if you just put the frozen stuff out there,
they're hungry. They're looking for something.
But this time of year, it's the dead stuff stinks more than live stuff. Luckily, I'm very, very happy I cannot smell any of us in this room. That's
good.
Actually,
that's a blessing.
It's a real blessing. Yeah. I have no olfactory communication from either one of you. But
would you like one of us to send you a message?
No, thank you. I don't need a message. But if one of us was laying dead on the floor for a while, you begin to notice they were there.
Right. You might not.
What's that?
You might not then?
No, I'm saying it would be, in our case, rather unpleasant. But when you take and you throw dead stuff out on the bottom at this time of year, the heat of the water, it accelerates that scent going out. One of the reasons people don't do as good with frozen bait, especially frozen fish or shrimp, is they don't poke a hole in the fish.
Or cut it into a couple pieces.
Cut it in half, poke a hole in the belly, depending on what size the bait is.
Bite size is what we're looking for.
But even if you take a little bait and you don't poke a hole in it, just because it's perfect size, you want to throw that hole.
Right.
If you poke a hole in it, it lets the smell out.
Sure.
And it works 10 times better. If you just put the hook through like the head and throw it out, the body's encapsulated, the gas can't get out, the smell doesn't get out. You got to poke a hole in it so the smell gets out. That's the way to make dead bait work.
Yeah.
By cutting it into pieces or at least poking a hole.
And that's what I usually do is cut it into pieces.
Yeah. You know. But if it's small, you don't want to cut it up, so just poke a hole in it.
Right.
But that's the key. This time of year, dead bait works usually better than any of the live bait. Low oxygen levels because of the heat. So if you're snook fishing, snook are very low on oxygen. They're gasping, trying to breathe.
Looking for an easy meal.
Yeah, they don't want to be chasing bait around all over the place. I think one of the reasons pinfish work so well right now is they don't run away from the fish trying to jump out of the surface. They go down and hide, and the fish can just go down and get them.
Yeah, no problem. No fight.
Yep, does make it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's a beautiful looking area there.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous in through here. Terracea is just a lovely, lovely place. Now, he did mention here for a specific inside spot. So here we are. Here's the bridge. Here's Egmont Key. And he said that Egmont has been... where'd it go? I had it here. The bay side of Egmont Key has been really strong for cruising snook and redfish. So right out here,
looks like it would be really
good
to go up along there.
Well, look at it. You've got that hard edge that just looks like a place where those fish would cruise between it.
Yeah.
So, and it turns out that they are. So yeah.
Just like you'd expect them to be.
Yep. And then you do have some structure and stuff out here too, so that just makes things a little bit easier. And there have also been some snapper here around those structures and around any kind of rubble that you find, which there's some areas where there's rubble too.
It looks like it would hold nice bait. It looks like that bait would be running up the shoreline.
Yep. He did mention that they're getting into some gag grouper, so we're getting excited because gag's opening on September 1st.
Is Red Snapper open now?
Red Snapper is open for the charter guys, but it's closed to recreational.
That's what I was trying to tell one of the customers. He said, "Oh no, it's open," and I'm like, "I don't think you can go tomorrow. I think you got to wait till September."
Yeah, September 1st it'll reopen. But
that's what I told him. I said, "You better check it," because I wasn't positive, but I was pretty damn sure American Red opened September 1st, but not now.
Well, and that's why I always recommend if people aren't 100% sure, even if you think you are 100% sure, get the Fish Rules app. Download the Fish Rules app.
Doesn't take long to look it up.
It's easy to find. When you look at it, it's the one that has, there's an image of, it might be a grouper, it might be a snapper, but it's in silhouette. And there's a lighter blue down to a darker blue gradient. So that's what you're looking for. When you download that app, give it permission to use your location. And whenever you're about to start fishing, just pop your app open. And the first thing it'll do is it'll tell your location, will tell it where you are. And then it will check for updates. So if they've changed the rules since the last time you opened it, which they sometimes do, it checks, it gets that update, it puts it right there on your phone. It says, for the area where you're at, here's what the regulations are.
I was surprised that they put out a rule book for 26, you know?
My biggest problem with it is we have a law in Florida that says they're only allowed to change the rules once a year.
Right.
And they constantly change the rules.
Yeah,
they do.
And FWC should be ashamed of themselves. If you're going to make a law, and this was FWC's rule that they weren't allowed to change them, and then completely ignore it.
And one of those rules that they changed literally just 2 weeks ago was when gag grouper season was. Because in federal waters, gag grouper season has been scheduled to be the whole month of September. And it's been scheduled that way for a few months. In state waters, it was scheduled to be September 1st through the 14th.
Right.
So it was very confusing to people. What do we do?
What
if
do we
you know, but then the state said, well, we're going to match the federal season. And they did, but they waited until about 2 weeks ago to do it. So we had this very confusing situation of people are getting ready and they're looking at it. And, well, it's 2 different seasons. What am I supposed to do? But if you go check your Fish Rules app now, you'll see that it's updated to show you that.
Right.
And if you check your fishing pamphlet that the
It'll be
FTC
wrong.
hands out, it's wrong. It's very wrong.
That's why I say I was surprised they even put one out.
Yeah.
But yeah, your Fish Rules app will keep you up to date and keep you from accidentally breaking the law.
All right. So,
but they have been getting some gags inside the bay here.
Nice.
Any kind of
inside this sphere?
Well, I'd say
probably not
closer
right
to
there in the shallow.
to Skyway.
Yeah.
Oh, closer to the Skyway?
Most of that they do here is in the shipping channel area.
Yeah.
But there are some rocky areas outside of that shipping channel too. If you look around, you'll find some of that stuff in 10, 12, 14 feet of water that a lot of people will overlook because they only look at the shipping channel.
That's all you need is a little bit of deeper water. So
that's all you need.
You get down to 12, 15 feet. It's cool enough. But the deeper stuff is where they go. But as the weather cools down, like this October, whatever, one of the things, if you get up there, take a snorkel and a mask and go around. And what's fun is once you see the fish, you go back, get somebody's line with their sinker and everything, and you swim out and you get over the fish and you just drop it right to the fish. And then when the fish picks it up, you just signal the guy in the boat and they start reeling.
Nice.
But it's important to have a signal so he doesn't overreact to you grabbing the line.
Well, no, you want to go to the boat and get the line from him so he knows you have it.
I understand.
Don't swim down.
Well, I got a big one on.
But, you know,
you get the hook in your hand real bad.
The way you first described it, I could totally picture somebody doing that.
Yeah. No, bad idea. Okay.
Yeah. So how is it that you pull on the line? What was it that you do when you get the line? You pull on it and what was the
I didn't.
signal?
I said drop it.
Yeah, but you were... you guys can rewind and see it. He doesn't need to do it again.
I'm not doing it again. I'm not opening myself up to Josh.
All right. So going offshore, they haven't had as many reports, again, because gag's not open yet. Red snapper's closed, so not as many people heading out. But he said that there have been a lot of sharks that they've been finding.
Yeah, everybody coming in and talking about sharks.
Yep. So if you do go out and you're looking for some snapper or anything like that, expect to have the tax man show up and help you out with some of that. And he did say that in some cases people have reported...
Is that your phone?
It was.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know what the heck it was.
Okay.
I just mute mine. I know it's technologically challenging, but it's...
What, turning it off is a problem? I lost mine. I don't know what I did with it.
That's a good way to make it quiet, too.
Or something.
No, it's here someplace, and he won't be able to find it if it starts ringing.
It's probably outside on the bench.
Could be. Anyway, he said that some people have reported the fishing has been a little slower out there when they've been going for those snapper. And one thing they've been doing to pick that bite up is focusing, again, on the frozen bait so that it puts out the scent, but also putting a buffet on the hook. 2, 3 different kinds of bait, chunk of sardine,
little
shrimp,
squid,
a piece of squid.
Whatever,
More
Nice.
smell, more
There you go.
choice, and the
That ought
fish
to
that
work.
don't want this may want that. So
The other thing I'll say is if you get offshore and you find yourself in a bunch of sharks, what I would do is look to American fishing wire. AFW has a knottable steel leader,
That's good stuff.
and I would go from your hook about 2 feet, 18 inches, 2 feet, put either a small swivel or just tie a uni to uni with the knottable steel leader,
if you do that uni
and
to
then
uni,
go up.
make sure that you're doing it to monofilament. If you try to tie a uni to uni with braid of that stuff, it'll cut through the outer coating on the wire.
Yeah,
It'll cut right
strips
through it.
the wire
and then
right off.
and then the wire's too rough and it'll cut through your knot.
But what I would do is use a very short mono leader, and then I don't know, maybe I would just try it with the knottable steel all the way down.
Yeah.
And just use that as a leader, because you get into these sharks, you get this beautiful fish that's coming up. Now it's half there, or they cut it right behind the head, you lose the whole fish. So if you're going out grouper fishing, and I would do like the 60 pound, because you need something they can't chew through easily.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
But-
think that's the heaviest they do in that knottable wire, isn't it?
Yeah.
60,
Yeah, that's
60,
pretty
maybe
close.
it's 65.
Yeah, the surf line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got the stump you got to use the crimps on. It's more expensive to buy the stuff you can do the knots with, and you can just tie a uni knot on it or a Palomar and go from your hook up to a swivel with that knottable steel. It's very, very easy to use. Like I say, you do a uni knot or a Palomar with that steel, and that might save you from the sharks. Now, we've used it, and we've caught snook on it, and if you
they're
catch a
hungry.
snook on it, you probably catch anything on it.
If it's hungry enough, it'll eat it.
And I mean, we were down to like the 20 pound, but I don't know if the 20 pound's thick enough to stop a, determined shark bite.
No, it really isn't. They slice right through that stuff.
Well, the other
think you
leaders
need
you like that are the
40 or
bleeding wire
60,
metal
yeah.
ones, those are 45.
Yeah. So
yeah.
48 to 60 pound to get the sharks not to bite through your leader.
All right, so that's going to be it for our report from the Bradenton, Tampa Bay area from John at Discount Tackle Outlet. And that's going to let us slide on south here to the Sarasota area. This report from Ashley at Economy Tackle, 941-922-9671. Or, just stop in there. And let's see, what do we have? So Ashley's starting out with the offshore stuff, as she usually does. And she said that for the guys that have been going out a little farther, they've had reports that the loop current has moved in closer to shore. So they're seeing that strong current in about 250 feet of water. And that's got a lot of people very excited, because that means it's time to go look for wahoo. Unfortunately, it had not moved in soon enough for people to have gone out to do it. But the very serious wahoo anglers that are up there are out there probably right this very minute going out looking for wahoo. So it seems like a very likely thing.
But you're
to have
talking
happen.
200 feet of water.
250.
Yeah.
250 feet of water. That's a lot further out than 120 feet or 150 feet.
Yeah, this is not take your skiff out there kind of fishing.
This is, you want a 30-some foot boat.
Yeah. This is a
30,
serious
60,
offshore thing.
80-foot boat.
But, when you hear about people going out there and catching wahoo and catching billfish and catching, all these other pelagic species that are out there,
Makes you
this
wanna
is
go.
a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Because
And this is the time you're probably going to be able to get away with it, because August, usually we don't have as much wind. Usually it's,
yeah, our wind forecast for all this weekend and into the early part of the week is 5 to 10 seas 1 foot or less.
which is perfect for those guys.
but all the same,
I'm going to wait
not
till
taking it.
September so I can do some bottom fishing when I'm out there. I want the gag and the American red snapper. So I would hold off till September because of that.
Right.
This is for a certain type of angler, but they are reporting about 50 miles out mahi 3 to 8 pounds. That might be enough to get you out there.
I'm still going to wait till September so I can mix and match. I'm cheap, and that's a lot of fuel to go.
That's a
out that
lot of
far.
fuel. It is.
It is.
That's a lot of money. So if I can do gag grouper, American red, all the other stuff, plus maybe find some mahi or wahoo,
then it would be to your benefit.
then I'm all in on it. You know, I'll spend that money.
Right.
But when you eliminate part of it, no, I'm not going.
So the charter fleet, which is still able to go out there and catch those Mexican red snapper, is reporting good numbers of those fish in about 200 feet of water. You come into 150, they're still catching some, but the numbers are down and the size is down.
Yeah, they're smaller.
So they're getting the bigger ones out a little bit deeper. So again, when we open things up here, September 1st, you might think about making that longer run.
Make that ride out there.
Snapper. And I feel justified in calling them Mexican red snapper because the Latin name is Janus campechanus, which is named after the Bay of Campeche, which is firmly in Mexico. So,
American red snapper. It's the Gulf of America. Get with it.
Yeah.
Put your proud patriotic face on. I like that it's the Gulf of America.
I am proud and patriotic to go catch Mexican red snapper.
Nah.
So, I'm good with it.
Nah.
Now,
American red snapper, darn it.
the gags are also out there where the red snapper are, but you haven't got to go that
The
far.
American gag grouper.
Yeah, the American. These are American gag grouper.
American gag grouper, you betcha.
It'd be the Gulf America crab.
The American gags out there with the Mexican red snapper, but also in as shallow as 40 feet. They've been getting good reports. So you don't have to go out super deep.
Right.
And that gives me a little bit of the warm and fuzzies because if they're in 40 feet, then we can realistically go out there and
40
troll
feet
for 'em.
might actually be, like right in here
Yeah,
somewhere.
you might be able to actually reach it there. So, but yeah, it means we
That's the
can.
box cars. That's stuff like that down by us.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're in 40 feet of water down by us. You know how the water's a little bit different there in Sarasota.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could certainly hope.
We have to go a little further out down here to get to the same depth. So,
But gives us the opportunity to troll for them instead
That's
of
true.
having to, go
that's a
out
good
there
way
and
to do
bottom plumb.
things.
Yeah. And I like trolling for them because you get very few short fish.
Right.
You notice that when you're trolling for gags?
Yeah.
You mostly
Trolling
end up
for
with
any
keepers.
fish, usually I get the bigger of the fish.
Yeah, but with gags, because they're so bottom oriented and you're forcing them to come up off the top and then chase after something.
Forcing that bite reaction. Yeah.
And 20-inch fish usually just don't do it.
No.
They don't have the confidence because they get eaten by something big.
Bigger.
With teeth.
Teeth.
Mangrove snapper, they're still doing really well for mangrove snapper. They're getting those in side the bay and also out on the reefs. And I just completely screwed up my map there for a second, but that's okay. Let me find it.
It's up in here somewhere.
Philippi Creek. I had Philippi Creek somewhere over here, and then I lost it.
Is that it right there?
Is that one it? I think that one's it. It's very conveniently not labeled. So
yeah. Oh no, that's Hudson Bayou.
that's Hudson Bayou. Yeah. So Philippi.
I think that's Philippi
there you
Creek.
go.
Yeah. So Philippi Creek.
Yeah, because that's the restaurant right there.
And also some parts of Sarasota Bay, but Philippi Creek has been pretty consistent with getting into keeper size fish. We're talking about minimal keeper size fish, not the great big ones. If you want the bigger ones, that's again moving offshore to do that.
Right.
But again, not far offshore.
Yeah, no,
that same 30, 40 feet of water
We'll do it.
We'll do it.
And that's
But
pretty attainable by anybody. I mean,
pretty much.
Yeah.
If you're got
Do we
seas
know
1
if
foot or
there's
less,
a
then
boat ramp close to Philippi Creek?
I don't know the answer to that question. I have not looked that up.
Isn't there a boat ramp in the Oyster Creek Bar restaurant area right here?
I mean,
I know the dock. No.
Yeah,
There used to be a boat ramp there because the boats, shrimpers used to put in there.
and I don't know what's
Or the
publicly
crabber.
accessible. I will ask Ashley for
Okay.
that information since it's their backyards.
Mhm.
So,
But yeah, ask her about boat ramps close to that Philippi Creek because there might be one way up there, or the closest one could be 8 miles away.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that's going to be the scene.
So yeah, I'll ask her and get some updated information so we can add that. Let's see. Her report is a little bit scattered around here. Bonita and cobia. She said that cobia, again, coming from inside the bay, but most of those fish have been short. We're talking about 24-inch fish up inside the bay. But once you move out off the beach, getting into some good fish, and a handful of them have been keepers. There's also been a lot of bonita out there from basically just off the beach to however far you want to go. So anywhere that you've got bait, Bonita are likely to be out there busting them. I did ask her specifically about any mackerel reports. Not yet.
Not yet, huh?
So
Too hot.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping because we have had a couple Spanish mackerel reported here in Charlotte Harbor. So I was thinking maybe they're starting to show up there.
Well,
they were
Spanish
lost.
tolerate more heat than the kings do.
Yeah. A few tarpon still around, even though it's getting pretty late in the season.
Yeah.
She said that if you want your best shot, fishing inside Big Pass has been the best time, but it needs to be a little bit rougher because what that's been doing is it's been concentrating those fish on the inside area of the pass. The forecast we have right now is light and calm, so there's nothing to concentrate those fish in there. So she said she expects them to be scattered off the beaches. That's what normally happens with this type of situation later in the season. But of course, it's really hard to tell exactly what's going to happen. But they might be out there anywhere. She's kind of tarpon crazy. She said she's probably going to fish for something else because the thin scattering of fish that they have out there is just not going to be worth it unless they get concentrated around. And what she said she is going to go after is the snook.
Right.
Because point of rocks and any kind of other structure out there along the beaches has just been concentrating those fish heavily. And not only that, they have been voraciously feeding.
Yeah.
So they are hungry, hungry fish.
Get your nice moon. When's that coming up? Yeah.
I'd have to look and see.
I would too.
So, because I haven't looked. I don't know the answer.
It's all good.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate your support.
I'm just sitting watching.
The trout reports.
This is fun. Okay. Go ahead. Keep going. God, for God's sakes, keep going.
Do you want me to give you something to read next time?
No, I'm very good. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. So the trout reports have been pretty good out there. They've been getting into a lot of fish, but most of them have been small. They're hoping for bigger ones, but they haven't turned up yet.
He forgets. He taught me the buttons.
Yeah, and you're within reach. So.
Yeah, and you're within reach, right?
And he taught me the buttons.
Redfish reports, though. Redfish reports have been really, really good. They've been getting a lot of reds around the mangroves in the Midnight Pass area. And you don't have to be right there in the pass. You can be anywhere in the Midnight Pass area and still be able to catch those fish. So heading inwards, the waters on the inside
I didn't turn off his mic. Really, I didn't.
Midnight Pass have cleared up really nicely.
Well,
that's been holding a lot more fish, and redfish has kind of been what's hot down there right now.
Cool.
And like we talked about last week, schooling redfish in North Sarasota Bay, mostly bigger fish at the top end of the slot, up to about 35 inches and continuing to happen. So we had thought maybe that was a little bit of a fluke thing and maybe they'd break up since it was so early, but they're not. In fact, there have been a couple more schools that have been reported around up there.
Awesome.
Did a really nice job, Josh. The people love you. The crowd is going crazy. Great job. Okay.
Thank you, crowd. I appreciate that.
The crowd is good today.
When our studio audience is happy with me. So that's going to be it for Sarasota and Ashley at Economy Tackle.
Cool.
So that will bring us down to the Venice area.
Now, you fish much up in Venice, Jeff?
Not too much anymore. We used to go to the Venice Inlet, fish out of that.
Right.
But
yeah, it was
not too much anymore.
I thought years ago, you fished Venice quite a bit.
Years ago, we fished the South Pier.
Yeah, and I always like the South Jetty better than the North Jetty. I don't really know why.
Well, the reason we would is because right along the edge of the rocks that go down there, it seemed like there was a little cut-in underneath the rocks at the bottom, and that's where the snook would hang out. So rather than cast way out into the pass, you would just cast out past the rocks and then let the incoming tide sweep it up underneath there, and they would whack it every time.
Yeah. I used to fish down here quite a bit at night, and there was a street light set up right in this area, and that's where I would fish through there.
Yeah, that's a nice,
So.
And then we would fish the island, which is back up over here. When we had the boats, we would go out there and park on the boats and fish around the island.
Weren't you worried about the snakes?
No.
On Snake Island?
We were in the boat.
Did you ever see a snake?
No.
On Snake Island?
He was in the boat.
I was in the boat.
So you were in the boat?
Didn't bother getting
Snakes
out.
didn't swim out to the boat?
Not that
It's
I know
not
of. Never had
snakes
a
on
problem
boat.
with it.
It was snakes on a plane.
It's a different movie.
Yes.
A different movie entirely.
So, but now the South Jetty, of course, is blocked off. You can't go out there. It's trashed and ruined. So,
Yep. They got the satellite police station right here. They pretty much keep everybody under control.
unfortunately.
So
Phil at Cook Sportland, 941-493-0025. Starting again with the offshore stuff for those willing to go out when red snapper are closed. Blackfin tuna and mahi out past 140 feet, which jibes pretty well with what we heard from Ashley, so I tend to believe him. Smaller mahi and some good red grouper at about 120 feet. Now, he said it was weird that if you went out further than that, out to that 140, and you dropped down to the bottom, they weren't catching as many of the red grouper. It really dropped off once you got a little bit deeper.
Well, considering there's gags all the way up into Tampa Bay at this time of year, and even though that's 30, 40, 60 feet of water,
right,
they should be out further. It's a very confusing year because where the fish are is not exactly where we would expect them to be with these water temperatures.
Yeah.
It just confusion all the way around.
It is.
In about that 100-foot mark, they've been getting a good mixed bag of lane, yellowtail, and mangrove snapper, and those fish have reintegrated themselves. So they segregate out for the spawn season in the summer, and then they kind of move back in together once the spawn is over. And so now we're back at that situation where you can drop down and you don't know which one you're going to catch. After this drop, we might get that one. Drop down a double porgy rig, and you might catch one of each.
Well, that would be cool. Yeah.
And that's always fun.
Yeah.
And he did mention that there have been a few hogfish caught out there in that 100-foot range. So hogfish, of course, mostly crustacean feeders. So if you want to have a good shot for those, drop down shrimp, or maybe even better yet, small crabs.
Like fiddler crabs would actually work for that.
Probably would, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so many little tiny crabs that live out there on the reef. You know, people think of crabs, and a lot of them automatically go to a blue crab or a stone crab. But
something like this.
With the hogfish size of their mouth and everything, I would say fiddler crabs would be an ideal bait for that.
Yeah, they would be nice when they're foraging around that pier.
If you dive or if you watch the underwater documentaries where they do, you'll see that there's all kinds of little itty-bitty crabs that live on those reefs, and everything likes to eat them.
And they're just out there picking on those reefs, just like a triggerfish.
Yep. Surf has been producing snook, redfish, and if you can find where the mullet are, small tarpon as well. So we talked about this with his report last week, that there's been pods of mullet that are moving up and down the beach, and the number of pods has actually increased. He said last week.
So the mullet run might be in its...
There might be a thing
where
they're starting to do the thing.
That's cool.
I don't think it's a mullet run. I think it's just schools of mullet that did spawn the beginning of the year.
Right.
And there's enough of them now where they're running the coast a little bit.
That's good.
Because historically, that's what mullet used to do. They just swim up and down the coast. They go through the harbor. Mullet travel all the time. I mean, I would say a school of mullet would travel 30 plus miles a day.
Probably.
Going up or down the coast, around in the harbor. They nothing to do for 18 hours a day but swim.
Yeah,
So
they just move along with the current, I imagine.
May just be our greater abundance of mullet that we're seeing.
We're seeing more mullet. I'm seeing it in Port Charlotte area, and I'm hearing like what he's talking about up and down the coast, where they've had a couple bad years for trying to get the mullet during the run season, because they take the purse seine boats out there, and 99+% of the mullet get caught.
Right.
But the weather and everything else has been tough, so some of the mullet were able to get out there, spawn, and
get
come back in
Yeah.
before they got caught up, and that's unusual. So
Yeah, those guys are usually on that.
yeah, if they want to do something with FWC to really increase the fishing down here, make it illegal to land mullet for 3 years on the west coast of Florida.
Oh, yeah, you'd see it all come back really good.
Because in 3 years, we would have enough mullet fry that the other fish, the trout, everything else could
have
start
something
eating
to eat
mullet
too.
again.
Yeah.
And right now, there's vast majority of fish are eating trout babies,
Right.
the small trout. And so to get the pressure off, predation pressure off of the trout, stop the commercial harvest of mullet on the west coast of Florida. You just go catch them, but you can't bring them on land to sell.
Mm-hmm.
No landing of commercial mullet on the west coast of Florida. And that's going to stop. It will bring trout numbers back up. It will bring probably some of the other species, but trout numbers would go way up because fish wouldn't be eating them. They would go back to eating mullet the way they did before.
Yeah. And, I could see where commercial fishermen would say you're trying to put us out of business, but we're actually trying to help your business by improving the numbers of mullet out there for not just you,
There's
but
no
for
money in
everything out
mullet.
there.
They have to get thousands of pounds to make
that's the
fuel
thing.
weight.
Right.
So
It's not a commercially viable fish. It's not like I'm talking about sand brim or jacks, which are big money in commercial.
Yeah.
Mullet is one of the lowest paying fish you can get commercially. So,
The roe is what they're really after.
well, yeah, but then you got to kill 40% of the males to get to the,
Yeah.
other, it's
Not
it's
a good
just not
scenario there either.
it's not a good business model.
and the value of roe mullet has come down because they're heavily farming that stuff now in China.
Yeah.
So they have
Yeah,
their
they've
own
learned how
domestic
to-
product.
Yeah.
And Viagra came out. So there's no call for white roe mullet because the only viable market for that was in the Orient where people thought it was an aphrodisiac. And if you wanted to,
That's usually why anything becomes popular in the Asian area.
well,
Nature's
Viagra's-
wiener pills. So
literally helping save, rhinoceros horns and all this other kind of stuff.
tiger bones,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah.
It's all
Because
crap.
do you want to eat the white roe out of a mullet? In other words, you're gonna,
Mullet roe is not good.
yeah, but
Not white
the
roe.
female is eggs. The male is
Sperm.
a wayside station.
And
It's if you want to go do that to a mullet, that's up to you. I mean, everybody's got their thing, but me personally, I think I'd take a real blue pill over that.
yeah. Well, and that's why they hide it as white roe, or I've also seen it called milt, which is a term that they use sometimes, but it's sperm.
Yeah.
It's densely packed, huge numbers of sperm that
So
you're eating if you're eating white roe.
yeah, and I know there's probably people out there that really like that, but me, no, I can go with the little blue pill.
All right. So now you know what to get him for his birthday.
Blue pills?
Yeah, I mean,
Wiener pills.
We'll get him a truckload of blue pills.
probably wouldn't hurt.
It probably would hurt a lot, actually.
Oh, I don't know.
So anyway, look for those mullet if you want to find that heavy activity.
That would
Snook
be
and
cool.
redfish might be anywhere, especially the snook, but that crashing action is happening around those mullet schools.
Mullet and the tarpon feeding on them.
They're also getting good numbers of snook and redfish moving back up into the backwaters, back up into the bays, as you would expect. But the trout have been basically absent from the flats. They're not seeing hardly any of them back in those backwater areas. Even in the places where they do have some nice grass, it's not happening. But the rocky areas out off the beach, 8 to 15 feet of water, that's where they're seeing those trout hanging out.
A little cooler.
Yeah.
Probably.
I would imagine. He's got a freshwater report for us, too. He said that the bass have been hitting on watermelon color plastic worms. But sometimes you have to kind of wake those fish up. He said that they've had cases where the fish are out there and they've thrown the worms and nothing's happening with them. But then they've thrown topwater baits at them and kind of
Woke them up. Yeah.
and then throw the worms, and that's what they actually want to eat. So
okay.
he said the water's clear enough in some places you can see them kind of come up and look at the topwater
Nice.
bait, but they're not willing to hit it. So just take your worm that's rigged on the other rod, chuck
Drop
that
it
out
down.
there, and yeah.
Cool.
And he did say that they've been getting some peacock bass reports
Really?
out of some of the Northport canals.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, a lot of guys moving those fish around. So
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah, people are catching them when a pond gets hot with peacock bass. They go there, catch them, they throw them in a cooler or a live well, and run them over to a different lake or
Right.
canal and dump them in there.
Hopefully it'll be deep enough for him.
So
Completely illegal, by the way.
Yeah, if you get caught doing that, you'll get big fines. But people are doing that trying to expand the population out, and for better or worse, it's what it is. But that's how a lot of these fish got up here. People going somewhere, catching them, and then
bringing them back and letting them go.
Yeah.
Now, you look at something like a Mayan cichlid or tilapia, those fish move themselves around more easily because they're both really salt tolerant. Right. So they can move out to Charlotte Harbor.
Over the dam and out the creek.
And then out the Peace River and up the Myakka. So if you have a fish population somewhere, they'll move in someplace else. Yeah. Peacock bass can't do that. The salt content would kill them if they tried to do that. So they're relying on people moving them.
Birds are slightly responsible for moving peacock bass.
I was going to ask you about I was going to ask you about birds. The eggs.
Wading birds will grab some of the eggs and move them one pond to another. But and occasionally a bird will grab a fish and go flying off with it and end up dropping in another body of water because simply was bigger than they could handle, got away. Yeah. And sometimes they live. But people move peacock bass around the most. That's the most common reason you find peacock bass in a place, because they caught one somewhere and went, I sure like those closer to the house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Don't want to have to drive 3 hours to get to them.
All right. Coming up here,
it's funny how people will do it with one fish and think they're going to get more population out of it.
Unless they were lucky enough to bring that one pregnant female, already had all full eggs.
But it still needs a male.
Still needs it. Yeah, right. Out. That's right.
Yeah.
Fish mostly have external fertilization, not internal.
Yeah. I don't know how, these people in San Francisco think that, males could do this without the females, or the females can do it without the males. I guess these kids know stuff I don't, but I know if you put one fish in a lake, you got one fish.
That's it.
It don't matter which one it is. You kind of need both.
Yeah.
All right. Now the Charlotte Harbor report coming to us from Fishin' Frank at Fishin' Frank's, 941-628-33-625-3888. I almost gave the wrong number again. I can't give that number.
We're going to have to program you.
628.
Nah, we don't talk about that number. That's a totally different number. That doesn't belong to Fishin' Frank's, but belongs to somebody who works at Fishin' Frank's.
Mine. I used to have a 628.
It's not yours.
It's the big boss that is 628.
Yeah, it's the face.
Oh, the face of Fishin' Frank's is 628 as well. Mine used to be, but I unfortunately was with Metro for a while, and after a hurricane, I missed my bill and went in.
You're gone.
I want to pay for my phone bill, and they're like, "Okay, what number do you want?" Number I had. Oh no, that number's gone. I'm like.
Nice.
Metro sucks.
Yeah.
Don't trust Metro. All right. So anyway, so I have a new number.
Yeah,
I have 286 number.
Uh-oh.
Whose number is this? I keep getting texts for somebody who isn't me. Tyson. I have a notice here on my phone from Walgreens that Tyson's prescription is ready.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, Tyson also gets notices from a debt collector. So,
well, obviously he's not doing well with his prescriptions.
No.
So,
all right, he's probably dead in a ditch somewhere.
Charlotte Harbor? I don't see it. I see Nokomis.
Oh, so sorry. I'm going to bring that up.
I was going to say.
I know you were confused. I apologize. I'll bring it in here.
Okay, there is Charlotte Harbor. Yeah. See, you can tell. Yay! Both arms up.
It's a beautiful harbor here.
Yes,
it's Myakka. Peace River.
In general terms, the fishing's okay. Not great right now. It was unseasonably wonderful, but the last week or two of no clouds have slowed everything way down. Yeah. Good snook bite down by Cape Hayes. A lot of redfish in the middle section of the west wall. If
Cape
you go
Hayes.
up,
west wall.
Right there. That center section of the
halfway point.
Well, and up and down from there. Mm-hmm. The redfish are doing pretty good numbers over there. Better afternoons. The east side of the harbor, small snook, a few trout. You've got a few redfish around the islands. It's not great, but it should be much better because Boca Grande Pass, every incoming tide floods that with cool, salty water out of the Gulf. And it should this time of year, that should be the best side for fishing, and it's a little slower than the west side.
Yeah.
We don't know why. Tarpon in the Pirate Harbor canals, there's a lot of little guys in there. Tiny terrorized from DOA is the way to catch those. They're going to rock that. Elgibine's a little slow. Nighttime, big snook. During the day, you've got a little bit of snook. Some small tarpon first thing in the morning. 41 Bridge is kind of doing the same thing. If you're there like daybreak, or from 10, 11 o'clock at night till daybreak, we're seeing a little bit of tarpon activity up there. A little early for it, but there have been some smaller ones. Up on the river, small tarpon, Shell Creek, snook, and small tarpon at the dam up there.
Yep.
Right below the dam, and guys they're having a ball up there. But it's a great ride, but go, if you haven't been up there, really, really listen, go slow. From the Peace River up to the dam is maybe going to take you around a half an hour at idle speed. If you're going fast, you'll probably make it, but you could end up in one of a half a dozen or dozen dead-end bays that have 4 inches of water in them, and you're going to be slogging out of thigh-deep mud getting that boat back out of there. If you go slow, that will never happen.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah.
It's only inches deep there.
The bad part about it is it looks like it goes somewhere until you put the nose of the boat and you go, oh, this isn't right. Yeah. And then you get back on the river.
Then you try to back out. Yeah.
But if you go slow, you're going to go, oh, no, this is the wrong way. I got to go that way. Running back, you can do whatever you want to do. But going up there the first time, trust me, it's a beautiful, beautiful ride.
It is. Troll a lure.
Yeah.
Slow down, troll a lure.
It's, like I say, less than an hour. Usually, I think it's around a half an hour idle up to there.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more.
Take.
But anyway, go slow. Peace River in general, shark fishing, some snook around. Not a lot of redfish. There was, but they seem to be moving somewhere else. And if you get down around Matlacha towards the Indian fields and that, you're seeing a little bit of redfish up in through those areas.
Way too far.
Right in there.
There you go.
North of that. But yeah, right up in there. A little bit north and on the other side. So right up by the top. Yeah, right in there. Getting some redfish in that bay area. Yeah, nice job,
I like it.
Guys.
That was good. That was
good.
Thank you.
If you flip over the other side of Pine Island to Pine Island Sound, there is up by Petruchio. We got some snook fishing going on up there. There's a little bit of trout all the way across the flats, smaller than they should be this time of year.
Right.
We should have less trout but bigger fish, but we've got less trout, but they're smaller as well. But redfish, if you get along Pine Island itself, you can find some redfish or any of the bigger islands, but you need massively overhanging mangroves. And a lot of those islands were stunted by one hurricane after the other. So they don't have the overhanging branches to cool the fish off to be able to be in the shade. So you got to find somewhere with overhanging branches. Look for green along the shoreline. That's going to help. Bull Bay, Turtle Bay, both decent fishing. When you get up around there, you've got redfish, you've got some snook in there. Not huge numbers, but very fishable numbers. You'll have a nice day. And most of the normal suspect spots are doing pretty good.
Doing pretty well.
Gasparilla Sound, same thing. You've got pods of fish moving around from small schools of redfish.
Yeah.
And you've got trout. But again, you're looking for overhanging mangroves.
Not many of them there. Till you get up into Catfish Creek and Wooden Creek.
The little cuts between the islands. Yep. If you've got tide flow and a cut between two islands, there's snook in them. Yep. Getting out into the Gulf, hearing pretty good stories in the Gulf about blackfin tuna.
Right in, just for an example, the one spot, it doesn't look very deep, and it's not. But
it doesn't look deep, and it's not.
It's not. It's deep here.
It's very shallow.
It's deep here, but this is real shallow. And I go up there and sit in the morning and go along this edge, and it goes way back in when the water's high. And I probably caught 3 or 4 redfish there, and then lost everything I had in the mangroves. But definitely a snook.
Yeah, it's a nice spot.
Yeah, but look at how those mangroves have
But it
taken
used
a
to be,
beating.
this all used to be just overhanging green growth. There's a little bit of green coming out here. You'll see the mangroves on the way out here. It's green on the edge and that. But on the backside, it's eaten up. And then you can see here it's all eaten up. But there is mangroves coming back along the shoreline, along these edges.
Yeah, a lot of mangroves have died. Hurricane Charlie started it, and every other hurricane has added to it, and the floods and everything. But
just one little area of the areas that are out there.
Yeah,
just
good
look
spot,
for the
Jeff.
overhanging mangroves and see what you can find.
Blackfin tuna out in the Gulf.
Point to the Gulf, Jeff, so we know where it is. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the Gulf of America.
Should I do it this way?
Yeah, there it is. It's right there. Yes. And in the nearshore reefs, you got some decent snapper grunt activity, porgies, grunts.
Those are good
stuff
fish to
like
eat.
that. It's a lot about the smaller fish on the nearshore reefs, Mary Helens, all that kind of stuff. But as you get working out, get out into that 80 foot of water plus, you can actually get into some decent grouper.
It's a ride to there. Ooh.
Oh, not all the way out there. That's 200 miles out. Figure Florida's what, 150 miles across?
Yeah, probably.
I think it's about 150 miles across.
Reasonably, depending where you measure it, but yeah.
So if you would flop Florida over so that you can see it's actually about 200 miles out to that drop off.
What do we got for measurement? Nothing.
But most of that lighter shaded area was out of the water during the last ice age, as the water was down hundreds of feet lower than it is now. And that's how we got all the hard bottom, the Swiss cheese bottom, because rain is acidic and the salt water doesn't eat the limestone, but rainwater does. So it spent, a few thousand years exposed to rain and then got covered back up with salt water. So that's what makes it really good fishing off this coast. But the Peace River is one of the older rivers, and it's been blowing sand out there for years. So with the Peace River and blowing sand out of there for 1,000 years, that's why it's sandier in front of Charlotte County. You go north up towards Venice, south towards Fort Myers.
You don't have as far to go out. Yeah.
You can go closer in. Yeah. The water's a little deeper, and it's rockier. But I was surprised how long the Peace River's been around. Been around a long time.
Been around a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it used to be a lot longer because it was all the way out to here
before
right. It got into the Gulf.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, it flowed out there a long ways. But with it, it carried sand that drifted down the beaches and sand from inland Florida being pushed out. So we got more sand out in front of us. But a lot of it's coming back better. A lot of it got covered up in the different hurricanes, but the Gulf likes things the way it wants it. So it gets covered up and then all of a sudden
get uncovered again.
It just, the current runs basically north to south. The loop current starts over by Texas, comes all the way around Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all the way down back to us. So with that north-south current, something comes in and affects the bottom east to west.
Right.
Then the north-south current says, nope, I want to clean that off.
Clean it off, yeah. Well, at Englewood, when we used to go to the cottages and stay, you used to walk out back of the cottage 50 feet, then you'd hit the seawall, go down the steps, jump down another 8 feet, and go onto the beach.
Right.
And in between all the cottages, they had these big rock riprap walls that went out into the Gulf. And several years later, now you walk out the back of the cottage, you walk out the sand, you just keep walking out the sand.
Right.
And all that's all covered up. And then it goes in turn again another 20 years, and it'll be back the way it was.
Yeah, they put little stem walls, little rock walls, concrete walls, metal walls from the shoreline out into the Gulf, all along the west coast of Florida, trying to get the sand not to move south.
Yeah.
But that sand
going to do what it wants to do.
The Rocky Mountains, didn't it?
From the Appalachians.
the Appalachian Mountains, the erosion of the Appalachian Mountains is why we have sand on the beaches in Florida. So that sand started way up there in the Appalachians and came down the rivers and whatever and ended up along the beaches in Florida. It's been moving south for a long time. I don't think a rock wall is going to stop it long. No. So, anyway, where are we going from here? You got anything for Charlotte Harbor, Jeff?
I do not at the moment. Sorry.
Okay. No problem. I'm just...
Well, you're just the king of no reports.
Oh, I am the king of no reports this morning for sure.
I'll add is the rain we've had lately has drastically improved the freshwater fishing, but it's deep stuff. You got to go deep for them.
Well, that's what everybody said at the other stores was it's deep dropping and
Texas rig of worm is going to be a very good bet for you. The watermelon colors are good. I've been seeing purple. Blacks and purples doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Talking to some of the guys, but several guys when I was working last week went out. I taught them how to build a Texas rig, showed them how to rig the worms and everything, and they went out and I talked to a guy yesterday. He said that was the difference. He knew the fish were there. He just wasn't down far enough. Trying to use like crankbaits and jigs and stuff like that. Swimming them through the water. Paddle tails were not jigs, paddle tails, shad, stuff like that. And they just weren't getting deep enough. Letting that Texas rig go all the way to the bottom and then just lift your rod up, set it back down, take the slack up, lift the rod up, set it back down, take the slack up. When you're going from what Bill Dance used to say, 9 to 11, 9. And that's working. If you're going to get bass, that's probably where you're going to get them out of Charlotte County right now. Mornings, evenings, top waters, shad tails, whatever. But once that sun starts cooking, they're going deep. They're in the shade under the grass, lily pads, stuff like that. They're in the shade or they're real deep.
And, of course, every bass angler who uses worms knows that you have to have the exact perfect color to make it work. I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't know anything. All I ever used was a great purple worm. And I caught tons of fish. But that was completely wrong. And I learned later that...
And we know you do stuff wrong, Josh.
Yeah, I learned later that
it worked. Josh.
You have to have the exact right color. Like you can have a watermelon color, but then there's the watermelon color with seeds. And if you don't have that one, then you won't catch any fish. Or
watermelon with the red.
No,
exactly.
Wait a minute.
And that's completely wrong.
That's the only way I make any money off the bass guys is when they come up with that one color with that additive and the other additive and the other flack.
Yes.
And I happen to have some of those. They'll come in and buy me out.
You get the bluegill, and the bluegill color is great, but then when the bluegill with the red fleck is the only one that's working, you have to have that. Yep. So, this is why those guys need all that storage in their bass boats because they have 400 pounds of soft plastics in there.
When you look at even with the fly fishermen, they come in and they're talking about this pattern and that pattern and this and that, and they're tying these and tying those, and they say, well, because they find out I fly fish, and I walk back and I grab the little teaser from the silly jig and I go, I use these.
I bet they're horrified.
And they're like, but it's mylar with a hook.
Right.
I said, yeah, but it works.
It doesn't even have any polar bear fur in it.
Yeah, right. But it
There's
works.
no peacock hackle. What are you doing?
And they cost like, 90-some cents a piece, and they work.
You're not really fly fishing.
Yeah, use the trailer hook.
You only think you're
that's
fly
what
fishing.
it is. The trailer's off the silly jigs.
Yep.
So we're going down to Naples here.
Yeah.
Brian at Serenity Bait Company in Naples and Marco Island, 239-273-4421. And he didn't have a whole lot in the way of offshore reports, but he did suggest an area, which I have not researched, so I'm just passing this directly on. Drift between the Baja California and the L Tower. He said this area out there is called Jurassic Park, and it has good rocky bottom. They've been getting red grouper, occasional gag grouper, yellowtail, and even a few African pompano.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, say where he said to go again.
He said go between the Baja California, which I'm assuming is a wreck, and the L Tower.
Okay.
So he said people who know this area know what I'm talking about, and if they don't, they can stop in the shop, and I'll be happy to show them exactly where to go. So that's one of the nice things about Brian is that
He'll
does
let you
kind of
know.
the same thing you do. Like you guys have the chart there on the wall, and you're constantly showing people where to go, what to do. He does the exact same thing, and he is not shy about showing you literally exactly. Go right there, go right there, go right there. So he's good about that kind of stuff.
Good.
But he said this is a spot that you're going to want to know because this is also going to be a great kingfish spot in a couple of months. So start paying attention to that area if you haven't before. For the yellowtail, if that's what you want to target, he suggests using a chum cage. Put your chum in the chum cage, drop it down to the bottom, and then start lifting it up. No, don't open it up. Just start lifting it and keep it intact, and you'll bring those fish up to the top.
Right. We sell these metal things, and like the green chum in the box. That you take the chum out of the box and you put it in that cage. And sometimes I'll add a weight to it. If you get out fishing on a reef or a wreck or something like that, you drop it all the way to the bottom and you're fishing. And then in about 15 minutes or so, I take the rope, bring it up 10 feet, tie it off to the cleat, 10 feet up from the bottom. And then in about 15 minutes or so,
raise it up a little more.
I bring it up another 10 feet. What happens is when it's right down below you, that chum is going right around there and makes those fish more interested in, like walking by and you smell a barbecue.
Right.
And you go, oh, boy, well, that smells good. I guess I'm hungry. And then when you raise it up, the chum is broadcast a little bit further.
Sure.
It goes
with the current.
Yeah, another 15, 20 feet or something. And as it's falling, and then when you raise it up, the chum goes out a little further than that.
Yeah.
And we keep raising it up till it's halfway up in the water column, and that chum's a much bigger area.
Sure. Yeah, I was thinking of the ones that they used to sell that they'd drop it down and then give it a snap, and then it would open it up.
I remember those.
Remember those?
It would just pop open.
Yeah.
I remember that. Man, there's been a lot of gimmicks over
there.
There
has been.
And
Everybody come up with anything.
First, what I think we sold back in the mid-'80s was a wire basket you put chum block in to drop down there. And in 2026, we're still selling the wire basket to put the chum in. But
or when we don't have that, the minnow trap, modified.
Yeah, because I'll take the we've got these round minnow traps. They got round holes in them. And I take pliers and open them up so it elongates the hole on one side.
Okay.
And because most of the saltwater bait fish are this
style?
way.
Yeah, the minnow. Yeah.
The funnels on each end. So where it comes down to a funnel, I want to elongate that. So I stretch that hole out so it's a little taller. Because saltwater bait fish are shaped, like this. They're not round. They're not cigar shaped like freshwater bait is. Freshwater shiners are more cigar shaped than tall.
a pinfish is.
Yeah. Pinfish, whitebait are all taller, skinny. And I make the hole more like that. And then I take the chum bag or block and I smash the other side flat. So that way the chum block fits in that side. But if there's any bait around, they get trapped in the other side when they're coming for the chum. So I get bait and chum.
And you hope real hard that a Goliath grouper or a shark doesn't just eat the whole thing. Which they
That'll
do
give you
sometimes.
That's why I put it on a good rope. Because you can hand line a Goliath up when he chomps down on the chum box.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't let go.
Yeah, well, if he swallows it. And
they're gluttony. They hang on.
They're not going to let go until you get them right up and pop them in the nose.
Yeah.
So Brian said that Gordon Pass up here has been pretty good for snook, but the better location has been down here at Marco. So right here in Marco. And what they're doing is they're drifting with large live baits, live pinfish, ladyfish, finger mullet if you can get them. He said the finger mullet have actually been the bait of choice, but of course a little bit harder
that time
to get.
Of year, though.
So, so if you're good with a net, you might be able to get yourself some finger mullet. If not, then you can do that. And the odd thing is that the artificials they're using in these same areas to catch fish, and he said that he's been out fishing with his son, and his son has on a couple occasions outfished him with the artificials while he's using the live bait. Little JYG shad.
Oh, yeah.
The smaller ones, the 3 and 4 inch.
The little ones, not the big ones to
Yeah.
match those big live baits they're using, but the little ones. That's what's actually
using
catching
massive
the fish.
big live baits and little tiny artificials.
Yeah. So
who would have guessed?
I don't know, but they've been experimenting with it and trying out different things, and that's what they've determined has worked. So I'm willing to go along with it. And other than that, the redfish action down there has been fairly slow. He said they've been getting into some fish around the trees, but it seems like they just haven't been real active, and I'm guessing it's water temperature related. But the peacock bass in that area that we talked about a couple weeks ago down at the end of Vanderbilt Beach Road has been doing really good. So that Vanderbilt Beach Road extension, which I know I have.
There it is. There you go.
Yep. Has been doing really well.
Go down Vanderbilt Beach Road, make the right.
Yep. And just keep driving down Vanderbilt Beach Road until you basically can't anymore. And you have good fishable water there along the sides. And again, small soft plastics, literally in some cases the same ones that they're using for the snook. But he said the better choice there, and it's going to be counterintuitive because it's a saltwater bait, has been the little shrimp.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Little 2.5, 3 inch plastic shrimp.
Right.
Here's what people don't understand is most freshwater fish grow up eating shrimp. Saltwater fish grow up eating shrimp. And in the freshwater fish's case, if you've seen the wood-handled nets with the white mesh on them, those are actually for catching grass shrimp. And they weren't for catching past crabs. They're for catching grass shrimp. And many states, probably I would say 20 plus states have grass shrimp, maybe more, maybe 30 states.
It's
grass
basically
shrimp.
The whole eastern U.S., and then there's another species that lives out west. It actually occurs in the Rio Grande and in a couple of other locations out there.
So a lot of states have freshwater shrimp, and a lot of states, several states have saltwater shrimp. So whether you're fishing in freshwater or saltwater, shrimp's a very good bait.
Yeah.
And I've gone through and we've had minnows, you take 200 minnows with you, you can go crappie fishing for the night.
Right.
And I always took a bag of frozen shrimp because sometimes they don't want to eat the minnows. Peel the shrimp tail off, slice some little pieces of shrimp meat, stick it on the hook, and all of a sudden you're catching crappie.
Yep.
And I've done it with bluegills, crappies, bass. It's crazy how many fish, when they just don't eat what they're supposed to eat,
will eat the shrimp.
They'll eat the other things, yeah.
Or you can get yourself one of those crab nets and catch some of those freshwater ghost shrimp. They work great.
I mean, some of them are 3/8 of an inch. They get up to almost an inch long, and they're really skinny. Yeah. But they're definitely a shrimp. You can see it.
Poppers.
Jumpers.
Poppers, jumpers.
Yeah. The old black woman always called them jumpers.
Yeah. Had one come in one time in there. I'm like, Frank, what do they want? Poppers. What are poppers?
Yeah.
And you'll see why they're called that when you dip them up in the net.
Yeah.
Because you go to reach for it and poink, there it went.
They look like popcorn in the net.
Yeah.
But anyway, so going back up to Fishin' Frank's up there, because I think we're done with the report.
We are indeed. Yes.
All right.
We have wrapped it up. So, see if I can.
As a general thing, going up and down the coast, we're still hearing bits of stories. Not where we were 2 weeks ago about snook on the beach.
Yeah.
Still snook on the beach. Blackfin tuna north and south of us.
Yeah.
So there's blackfin tuna along the coast. There is mahi out along the coast as well. But these are not like, okay, I'm going to get a charter, excuse me, and go out and catch mahi or blackfin tuna. No. Get a bottom fishing charter and hope they show up.
Right.
The numbers, you're not going to be able to go out and target these fish. You're going to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on gas. And I would say 70% of the time come back disappointed. Mm-hmm. But if you're out there fishing for other stuff, keep your eyes open, have a rod rigged so you can cast at them when they come. Yeah. That's the way to do these fish. Once the king mackerel showing up, you can troll for the king mackerel and get these other fish same time.
So that'll be coming up pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to get October.
Well, we're still
late October. We're going to see the temperature drop. Mm-hmm. But sometime in September, October, we'll get those cold fronts would take us from 94 to 88.
Yes.
That would be the key. But I wish I could say the fishing in the harbor is a little better, but it's been hot. It's cooking that water up.
It really has been.
Basic thing, dead bait's as good or better than live bait right now.
And maybe some nighttime fishing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And if I'm using artificials, I'm going slow with them, and I'm probably scenting them up real good. So good scented soft plastic, drag hopped.
Yeah,
this is a great time to go to, Strike King. Strike King made the Rage Tail. You come on over here, Jeff.
Okay.
You're going to get beamed in.
I'm beaming.
You might have to do it again.
It didn't really work.
Time.
Oh, well. I'll do that again.
Okay. Strike King. Yes, there he is.
Sorry.
Jeff's back.
Camera likes
Rage Tail shad. And for these slow water conditions, use an 1/8 or 16th ounce jig head. Don't use the little one. I would use the mid-size. Throw it out there and barely reel it. Thank God Quantum, yes, our big major sponsor over here, Quantum, is bringing out a slow speed reel. It's been 15 years. They started out years ago with 3 to 1, and then 4.5 to 1, 5, 6 to 1, 6.2. Now it's 7 point something to 1. Every time you turn the handle, what we're talking about is how many times this goes around and wraps the line. So if I start here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times around, maybe 7, because I wasn't counting very good. But 6
well, you
to
couldn't
7
use your
to
fingers.
1. So. Yeah, well, my fingers were tied up. But it's so quick that in order to catch fish at this time, I'm literally just trying to move the reel like this.
Right.
And what I've been begging for the last few years, and the head of Quantum agreed. He said they're going to make them. It's going to be a 3,000 in the strive. So you can turn the handle like this, not quickly, but at least at a comfortable pace, and it will go slow enough so you can catch fish when the water is this hot, or if it gets cold this year, because it doesn't always in Florida.
No.
I've had many Decembers here where it's 80 degrees every day in December. But when it gets too cold or too hot and it pushes past the normal limits, you'll be able to reel that at a slow, moderate pace and have the reel come in slow enough. The other thing it'll do is give you 30-40% more power than a normal reel.
More torque.
More bottom end, because a truck in low gear, you don't get speed out of it, but you get the power. And that's what, and I don't know what they're going to call it. I told them I would call it a slow roll power reel, because
I want to call it
the
Frank's Creeper.
Yeah, the Frank Creeper. Yes, because I'm creepy. So anyway, Quantum is coming out that. It should be out next July.
Cool.
So
at least in theory.
Right now, what?
6.2 to 1, by the way, according to the internet.
6.2 to 1.
So you're close.
Yeah. But it's perfect when the water conditions are great. It's fast enough. It's powerful. It's got everything. But when it gets this too hot or it gets too cold, too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Too
now,
fast.
there are always exceptions to that, and one of those is the ladyfish that we've been seeing start to show up. In that case, I want to go as fast as I possibly can.
Well, that's what this is for.
Exactly. And even right now, with the water temperature being what it is, as fast as I can, just a bare jig head, rip that thing through the water.
But they make it, everybody is 6 or 7 plus revolutions per handle turn. And Quantum will be the only one in the world that has that. It's an awesome thing when it comes out. I think it's going to sell. It's not going to sell everywhere very good, because most people don't realize the advantage of that.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think down here, the day it comes out, and it'll be in this size, and I think we're going to sell hundreds of them that first year.
Well, I'm going to be on it, I know for sure, because I got a little touch of the ADD, and I can't hold still. And reeling slow just does not work well for me.
Touch.
Little bitty, itty bitty touch. Yeah.
Little itty bitty touch.
I think it may
Did
let
you
me
notice
slow
anything?
down enough.
Yeah, just slightly.
Yeah, okay. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We've got way too long on this. We're in 85 minutes.
I don't care.
I don't care either. So, everybody, you got to do this. You got to do it. You got to make them short. You know what? people who they're going to watch part of it, look at something else, come back, watch part of it later or whatever.
Yeah, and if we make them short, we don't have time to goof around. So it's no good.
And
it's done on Hawaiian time.
You would never see that on a well-timed show.
No.
Right?
No. Think of that.
A well-produced, scripted show, this would never happen.
That would never happen, no.
Absolutely not.
Anyway, I am Fishin' Frank, owner of Fishin' Frank's Bait and Tackle. And I decided one day I wanted to do a YouTube channel and worked on it for quite a while. Ended up with Josh as my partner, and now we're adding Jeff. And we're this is what we want to do with a podcast. I know I should do this and should do that, should do the next thing, but
it's going to come out how it comes out.
It will, and we are open to your suggestions. By the way, if you have
just
specific
won't listen.
ideas,
We'll try.
I already did.
well, we might try. We're not going to guarantee that we will. And
we'll try, but basically, Jeff hasn't made a dime at all yet.
No.
Josh and I are up to somewhere between $10 and $12 a week. We get paid for this.
Well, in theory, we get paid for this. I haven't seen a check either, so
it's in the bank account. We've been getting
it's in your Apple Pay account,
right?
Yeah.
It's almost enough to pay for the electricity.
If you want to up our salaries and pay us, a salary, we'll make short videos, long videos, medium videos. We'll do all that stuff. Pay us a salary.
Yeah.
For right now.
Yeah,
I'm going to do whatever the heck I want to do. I'm having fun.
For the low price of $50, you could come on and do a video with us.
Oh, there you go.
How's that? Did you think of
Whoa,
that?
I didn't think
Whoa.
I've had several people come in, and I turn on the green screen for them and everything, and they're holding the emotional support reel, wearing the flying fisherman.
Old man glasses. Not the cool guy glasses like Jeff's got here, but the old man glasses.
The old man. And getting pictures in here with the emotional support reel and stuff. And it's become quite a thing.
Well, there you go.
And that's why you come in, and I don't do the computer part. I turn this on, get the green screen going, and let them see all that stuff. But
does know where a couple buttons are at, though.
And you haven't been charging for this service?
No, I haven't charged anybody to come in and get pictures.
Okay, I guess that's all right.
But, if you ever stop by Fishin' Frank's and you do want to see the studio, if I'm in there, not everyone has keys for this. Josh and I are the only ones with keys. But if
we haven't given Jeff one, and there's a reason.
That's right.
So
if everybody would be in here,
you're welcome to ask to see the studio. So anyway, bye, boys and girls. Say goodbye, Jeff.
See you later, kids.
Josh.
Captain Josh Olive, fishcoach.net.
Fishin'
Go
Frank.
out and bend a rod.
Don't have a .net. All right.
That's okay. You have fishandfranks.com, and that's good enough.
Oh, I got a .com, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
He's got a number. It's 628.
Yeah. Bye.
Good night and sleep tight.
We gotta go.
We'll see
That
y'all
camera
real
back
soon
at me
for the
again.
next show. Till then, catch 'em up. Tight lines, everyone. Fishin' Frank's Fishing Club, now our job is done.